and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I don't really know exactly what it's going to be, but it's probably going to be a very slow weekend, a very much so healing, relaxing, spending time with you guys spending time with me weekend. For me, I feel like I am very much so in a healing journey when it comes to my physical health, but also my mental and my emotional health. And I feel like that's kind of what a lot of us are kind of going through right now. So my hope is maybe you will get something out of this video when it comes to, you know, chats and advice or anything, or maybe you just want to pass the time with me. Right now I am getting ready because I am gonna be going to the Christmas market with my friend a little bit later today. Nothing too crazy because, like I said, right now I'm dealing with some health issues. If you guys are new here, I have IBD, so I'm going through a flare, which just means like I need to give my body as much rest as possible, essentially, not overwork myself, not be overproductive, you know, listen to my body on a day-to-day basis, essentially. Yesterday, actually, I basically called that day a do nothing day because I could just feel like my body just needed to rest. And what I mean by rest, I mean like sometimes you need to give yourself a rest in the sense of like sometimes when things are happening in your life, like either health issues or you're in like an in-between period of your life or things aren't really exactly the way that you want, sometimes we resist that and we want it to be different, right? Of course, like would I want my health to be even better than it is now? Yes. But the resistance itself sometimes creates more of that pain and that suffering. And sometimes all our bodies and our minds and our emotional health need is for us to kind of like lean into the pain sometimes, which sounds like crazy, or the sadness or the clear response that our bodies or our minds are giving us to be like, please just, can you relax for a moment and stop pushing against it and like stop creating so many goals and to-do lists and analyzing things or intellectualizing things and trying to find answers and all of these things. So this weekend for me, and like honestly this past week, has been very much so relax as much as you absolutely can. Obviously you still need to do things. I also think it's important to kind of like still live your life as much as you can, but you know, maybe you're just taking a little bit off of your plate. Like even today, like I can't really do too much in the form of like socializing and spending a lot of time outside of my place right now because of my flare up, mainly because I need to go to the washroom a lot, mainly because I can't really eat too much without having a stomach ache, which limits me going out to see my friends and having dinners and things like that. But there's still things that I can do, like go to the Christmas market and like walk around for a bit with my friend and then just come home and like let it be that. So just really leaning more into that like soft life energy. And actually, I was on Instagram yesterday and I always feel like when I'm going through something, the universe is like, here's a message and here's a quote and here's a comment and here's an alignment piece that just reminds you that you are in fact in the season of life that you think that you are in, and let's stay there and let's embrace it. So I figured I would read this quote because I think it's really good. And it says, sending love to everyone who is just tired. Life is a lot, and sometimes the answer to it all is just to be still and silent for a while. Give yourself space and grace, whether it's decision fatigue, information fatigue, anxiety fatigue, routine fatigue, getting your life back together fatigue, career fatigue, social fatigue, financial fatigue, physical fatigue. Take a moment to breathe and recharge. You deserve it. And I feel like I'm sure so many of you guys can relate to either one of them. I feel like there's a lot of comments being like, I suffer from all of those fatigues right now. And I think that this is just a chance. I think winter in general is a chance for us to really not be so tired and rest and, you know, give ourselves to also like work on all of these aspects of our lives that we want to, whether it is our health or our wellness or our habits or routines. It's not to give up on these things, but it's just a reminder to just slow down. Don't tire yourself out. So anyways, that is kind of the era that I'm in right now. I just used some Ilia foundation on my face. I already like did my hair kind of just in a little bun, and I'm actually going to use bronzer. It's so funny, I've added bronzer back into my makeup routine after summer. I stopped using bronzer because I don't really use too much makeup. Like I like to use an Ilia foundation. It's quite light, and then some blush. I gel up my eyebrows and I do my mascara. I can get my makeup done in probably 10 minutes. But I am getting a little bit lighter because summer is over. And so I feel like when I was putting on my blush recently, it felt like it was a little bit too harsh on my face because I am getting lighter. And so I was like, let me just pull out my bronzer and just see. And this is a Tower 28 bronzer. What color is it in? Getty. And it gives just the perfect amount of color back into my face. So that's basically what I've been doing. But like I said, I'm gonna go to, it's called Distillery District in Toronto, downtown Toronto. If you live here, then you know, but maybe, I don't know, you probably heard of it, maybe if you live like even near. It's a very popular Christmas market. Like the Distillery District is a market, essentially like an outdoor, well, the stores are indoor. When you go inside of the stores, they're inside, but you can like walk around and you can get coffee, and there's like all these cute little authentic shops. In the summertime, it's open as well. Like you can go there at any time, but the Christmas time is like the most popular time essentially because they have like a Christmas tree that's like a Dior tree, and then they have all the Christmas market vendors, which are like, you know, not always there throughout the year. So it's very popular, but it does get insanely busy. It's also like quite expensive, you know, those like authentic Christmas shops and things like that. Like obviously things are quite pricey, but I do live like decently close. Like I live on the same end of the market. So in my head, I'm always like, I might as well just go there with a friend and walk around. Like it's so nice to go around there, even if it's not like Christmas market time. But on the weekends, it gets really busy, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just because that's, you know, most people can go at that time. So it's Friday. I don't know if I told you guys that, but it's Friday, and we're gonna go a little bit earlier, and then we'll just go for a few hours, I'm sure, and walk around, and that way we kind of miss the bulk of people. And also I wanted to do this like beginning, well, it's not beginning, what day is it now? It's November 15th when I'm filming this. So this vlog will be out kind of like, I don't know, end of November or something. But as the season progresses, it will get more busy. And it kind of, for me personally, it does take away the experience when there's 100,000 people everywhere. Like I'm also like very, very, very homebody. I love to do everything on downtimes. Like I like to go shopping when it's not busy. I like to do groceries when it's not busy. I understand that a lot of people can't do that because those are the only times people can go, is like after work and stuff like that. But I really try to capitalize on those times because it's just, it's not that it's overwhelming in the sense of I can't do it, because I used to do that a lot, especially when I was working a lot more in terms of like traditional jobs. But if I can help it, I would rather have less people. Like in general, I just want it to be calm and quiet. So that's why we're doing it at this time, and my friend's the exact same way. So, but I think Christmas market and markets in general, or just like things that are popular in your cities, can be something that you can do with your friends, even if you don't have a lot of money, because you don't have to spend a lot of money to go to these places. Like obviously there was probably like vendors and things can get expensive if you buy food and stuff like that, but I'm not really planning on, well, that's a lie. I'm definitely gonna buy something because I actually want to go to the Ordinary. But regardless, like you don't have to buy all of these things. Like you can look at things, you can like get ideas and stuff, but it's just something to do with a friend, to like go to a market or like walk around a cute area of your town that is like holiday themed or Christmas themed or whatever. And I personally have a lot of friends who like to do like wellness stuff and like go for walks and like not like club things. So we tend to always look for all the different markets and all the holiday things, or depending on the season, what's going on. And then we just plan weekends around that. There's gonna be a few other markets that I wanna go to with other friends as well. So that's what we're gonna do. I used Say Beauty. This is the cream blush in Chili. I love this blush so much, and I will link it down below if you guys are interested. I also need to do some self-care this weekend. Like I'm saying that because I'm plucking my eyebrows right now, and I really don't like to pluck my eyebrows just off the whim. Like I like to have a whole session where I sit down and actually do them, but it's kind of been a second. And I need to do my toenails and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to see if there's any like self-care stuff I can get today at the market. Nothing too crazy, but I've also been wanting to get some more bath salts because I've been having so many baths, which I think are so nice in the wintertime. So we will see. But all I do with my eyebrows is I take a really old eyebrow brush and I use Eco Styler gel, which is hair gel for your hair. And I put it in like a small little thing and I brush up my eyebrows. I say this all the time. I've been doing this since I was probably 20 years old or probably earlier than that. And it's just saved me so much money because I do have really curly eyebrows and I need gel. Like I really need gel, but honestly I like to do this just because it just brushes up my eyebrows, which again, I need to do that because my eyebrows will go crazy. Also, I get this question like more than I would think, but a lot of people ask me if I'm mixed. Yes, I am mixed. I am half black, half white, essentially. I did my DNA test with 2 different companies, like I think Ancestry and 23andMe. So I'm like obviously a mix within my mom's side and my dad's, but my dad was full black, Jamaican. But on my DNA test, it does say like West Africa. There's a few other ones in there, but mainly West African. And it's interesting because I did these tests years after my dad passed away, and I can only assume he did not know that he was like West African, like those specific regions of Africa, which I feel like would have been so cool for him to know that, because I remember before he passed away, he was looking into trying to figure out some of his roots because his mom didn't tell him too much about where he came from. I mean, he came from Jamaica. He lived in Kingston, Jamaica, which is some of the most brutal parts of Jamaica. So like obviously he knew where he came from, but he moved over here when he was like 13. And I just remember him trying to like figure out some of his roots and things like that. So I feel like if he was here right now, he would have been like so interested in his roots and seeing like where actually his roots are from, obviously like Africa. But anyways, I am half him and then half my mom, which my mom is very white. She is like Scottish, Irish, German. There is some Southern European within my mom's side as well. So very big mix, but yes, I'm half black, half white. And I mean, if you were to see my natural hair out, you would know. But some people don't, I don't know that or see that. I mean, honestly, I will say I'm very light, which doesn't matter, but I even like look at my siblings, which I have half siblings actually. We have same dad, different mom. So I didn't grow up with them in the household. I actually didn't even like spend too much time with them until like a little bit later, in I would say maybe like 10, 11, 12. And then I hung out with some of my sisters or my half sisters in high school, because that's when we kind of like all got together. My dad did the best he could with like bringing us all together. But I am like the lightest out of all of them. In the winter, I honestly look very white. Sometimes I can see when people don't really like know, because I am quite a light skin. And it's so interesting because I'll get like comments too of people being like, why don't you, like, what do you not why don't you, but like people be like, what do you identify as? Like, do you call yourself like a black woman? Why don't you? If you don't, like blah, 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 this, that. And I just find it like, I don't know. First of all, very not relevant, I think, for a lot of the internet to even care about that realistically. But it is an interesting experience when you are half black, half white sometimes. Sometimes it's not complicated at all, but then it actually can be, depending on who you're talking to. Because, I mean, I'm not fully black and I'm not fully white, but in terms of passing, where do I fit in? Who knows? Who cares? I am just me. But yeah, if you guys were interested, because I do get some comments about that. But I will say I grew up in an environment where essentially everyone was white, and I wasn't really around too many black people, to be honest. Like my high school experience, all white people. There was probably like a handful of 5 mixed kids in my school. I think there was probably maybe like a few like full black kids. So I feel like we probably all struggled in that sense, at least for me. I didn't really struggle in terms of like feeling too misplaced or anything. It was more the way that I looked with my hair. It was more my hair. Like, I wasn't around people who had naturally curly hair, so of course I unfortunately naturally kind of hated my hair because I didn't know how to do my natural hair. I didn't see it represented, and I saw people who were getting attention that didn't look like me, so then I was like, I don't think I'm pretty, I don't like my hair, blah, blah, blah. I've talked about it a lot here and there in my content about my journey with my natural hair, but I've come such a long way of embracing it and loving it and just loving my uniqueness. And I think that, like, let's not fight what we are. Let's not do that, because I did that for a very long time. But I definitely was not really raised too much around like my Black roots in that sense, which also is a downfall in many aspects, because I feel like if I was around, you know, even just like more mixed kids, but full Black people, I feel like I probably would have liked my hair more, learned more of my roots. But I'm just saying that's kind of like my experience. So anyways, love who you are at this point, because that is how, if you believe in God, universe, that's how he, she, the universe made you. So let's not waste this one life resisting ourselves. And I think I learned this in my later years of life. Instead of hating myself, instead of wishing I was different, how can I learn to embrace what I have and make it even more beautiful? Because this is the thing, like, I feel like half the reason why I didn't like my natural hair was because I didn't know how to do it. And honestly, it didn't look that good. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, when I would try and do my natural hair when I was younger, girl, and I don't mean like young, because my mom would like braid my hair and stuff. Honestly, she did a good job for being a white mom, if I'm being honest, with like trying to figure out how to do my hair. But I didn't really learn how to take care of my hair properly. So yeah, like, my natural hair, when I would do it before I straightened it and damaged it and like wore extensions and wigs and all that phase of hair, it didn't look the best. But now, like, when I learned how to do my natural hair, holy, it's so pretty. I think it's also so healthy, and so I like it. And I feel like I would have liked it in high school if I just did it, or I knew how to do my hair this way. But you know, it's a journey. So I just knew eventually when I got older, I was like, listen, this is gonna be a journey. I need to learn how to do my natural hair. I need to know how to embrace more of my natural beauty. Even when it comes to like my looks, right? I hated my eyes. My eyes were like the biggest thing that I hated when I was younger. Let's go into a little bit of a rant, I guess. I had a hyperactive thyroid, and I got diagnosed with that when I was in grade 8. And so I lost a lot of weight. I got sick, okay? I got sick for like, I don't know, probably it was like 2 weeks. It was like not a normal, but I don't know, I think it was just like a cold that turned into something that was more than just a cold. And I lost a lot of weight and I was really sick. And then I started going to doctors and they started testing for things. And then they found that I had a thyroid issue, and I had hyperactive thyroid. So I was burning basically all of my calories and burning everything off my body. But in that time, sometimes what can happen when you have a hyperactive thyroid is there's this thing called Graves' disease, which I didn't end up fully forming because my body ended up balancing out in a way because I went on medication. And then I also feel like different stressors in my life changed. My hormones changed around that time, and my eating patterns changed around that time as well. But my eyes started getting bigger, and that was to do with the hyperactiveness and the like Graves' disease almost of my autoimmune disease. And so my eyes got really big, and they really looked like they were popping out of my face essentially. And I was very, very small. And so I got really insecure about that. And then that was also like something I didn't get made fun of too much, but people noticed. And I remember like my one crush, my only freaking crush in school, stopped me in the middle of the hall one time in high school. And I remember him being like, telling his friend, like, oh, isn't that the girl with the big eyes? But like, not in a nice way. And obviously that like shattered my life. And of course, literally made me so more insecure. So I struggled with that in terms of my eyes. I really hated my eyes. And I feel like, you know, when you don't like something about your face, like that also really affects the way you show up in the world and way you like converse with people. Like in high school, it's already like awkward enough and just like anxiety ridden enough and you don't know yourself and you're like learning your body and you're learning your confidence and everything like that. But if you have something on your face where you just like don't want people to look at you, like that really affects the way they're gonna show up. So anyways, I struggled with that a lot in school. And then I did find it was like simultaneously two things. It was like, yes, my health kind of like rebalancing, but like my eyes still stayed big. And naturally I have big eyes. If I look at my baby pictures, like my eyes were actually big, but they weren't like out of the socket in a way. So that phase of my life for sure affected my eyes. They either kind of like went back in a little bit, but they still just, I don't know, maybe my face just grew with it. So on one hand, I do think that things kind of balanced out, but there was an acceptance piece that I had to go through. Like I had to learn how to accept the fact that like I had big eyes and not look at it as such a bad thing. And I remember my mom would always tell me like, your eyes are so pretty and this, that. And I obviously like didn't want to listen to her, hated it, blah, blah, blah. But I started to learn to accept it as a part of my reality. I then learned how to do my makeup in a way of like accentuating my eyes when it came to my eyeliner and things like that. And now it's so crazy to me because I seriously hated my eyes. Now I look at them and I'm like, I don't ever want them to change. Like I never look at them and I'm like, they're too big or like I remember there was phases of my eyes where I was accepting them and stuff, but I still would look at them and be like, oh, they're still like really big, but like whatever, like, you know, if anything was gonna change about my face, then I would want it to be my eyes. Now, no, like it's so crazy. And then that gets reflected back in your life, or at least it did for me. Like people would start to only comment on my eyes and be like, your eyes are so pretty. I wish I had your eyes. Anyways, why am I saying that? I don't know. I'm saying that because maybe that will help one of you guys, but that was like a huge insecurity for me. Now I've just learned how to do my eye makeup and embrace it, and realistically we can't change certain things about our face, so we're just going to accept it. And when it comes to my eyes and my hair, those are just two things I was living to have changed. Didn't know how I was going to change that, and I ended up changing the relationship that I had towards these two things about my face by accepting them and learning ways to work with them. And then it's almost like the body dysmorphia of it all, like the way you look at yourself changes, and then you think it's actually really pretty. The same way sometimes you change the way you view your body. Like I look at my body in such a different light now, and I think it's really nice versus the way that I used to. And mind you, I have the same shape of my body. Like I have pretty big hips, like hip dips essentially. I have hip dips, but I have like a very curvy kind of body in a way, or like hips. And I used to hate that because it would create hip dips, and then I thought that I like had a muffin top and this, that, or like that was the word. But now I look at my body and I just look at it so differently, and I'm like, no, that's actually like totally normal. It's nice. It gives you shape. It is what it is. Let's accept it. Anyways, I'm also gonna be, okay, actually I didn't tell you what I was putting on my face because that's what I do, we rant. So I put a little bit of foundation underneath my eyebrows. I think that like it cleans it up so beautifully just by putting a little bit under there, okay, without even filling in my eyebrows. And then I went in with some Fenty highlighter. I've been using this highlighter for so long, like years and years and years. Just put it on my cheekbones and underneath my eyebrows. And then I'm gonna go in with this YSL. This is a Lip Shine Candy Glaze in the shade 05. I'm obsessed with it, and it gives me just the right amount of color. And that's basically everything I do for my makeup. I personally don't even like wearing too much makeup because I just want to rub my face and my eyes and this, that, but a little bit of makeup never hurt nobody. So anyways, going to the market, I want to go to The Ordinary because I want to get salicylic acid, which is really good if you have any acne or you have any oily skin. Now, I don't have any acne, but I am on a medication that can create more like oily skin essentially, and it probably won't even happen, but I am a little aware of that. And honestly, when the seasons change, sometimes my skin will go through a period of like adjusting to the weather. And if I do get any pimples or acne or anything like that, it usually is in the form of the oil production that happens with my skin. So I want to get either like a serum and or there's this one mask that I used to use a lot. It's a salicylic clay mask from The Ordinary. So I'm wanting to pick that up. Also, I'm actually going to put this all-nighter spray on as if like I'm going out for a lengthy amount of time and I need my makeup to stay. I really don't, but we're just gonna do it for the freaking plot. Something I've been doing a lot recently is drinking tea, which is interesting for me because I'm really not a tea drinker, but I think like with my flare up for my stomach, it's just something, it's not that I need to drink tea, but drinking something warming, lots of liquid, easy to digest things, of course, is supportive. So that's kind of why I'm drinking a lot. But right now I'm drinking roasted dandelion root tea. I used to drink this a lot when I was in my like hormone balancing era. So this is good for your hormones, but it is good for digestion as well. So we might as well have a little bit of this. I try to have this in between, obviously in between meals, also to kind of not keep me tied over and so that I don't eat. But right now I'm kind of limited to the things that I can eat, and I try not to eat too much to put a lot on my stomach. So having something like tea is really good. Also, this glass, it's from Nashville. It is beautiful. I wish I could like link this so all of you guys could have it, because I genuinely think it is my favorite mug. Well, there's other mugs that I have, but I think this is just so cute because it's blue. Sometimes I really forget what a warm drink can do to your soul. Anyways, I'm gonna drink my tea and do some work before we head out to the market, which I am excited to go, because I think that the holidays and shopping, as much as we have to be careful with shopping when it comes to spending lots of money, but I do think it's just, I don't know, it makes life a little bit less serious. And actually one thing that I've been looking for is well, you can't see it back there, but I have a French press because that's how I make my coffee. But recently I got a Smeg kettle because my friends love me and they got it for me for my birthday. But Smeg doesn't have a French press. And so I'm looking for one that is similar to the cream color, but it is actually quite difficult. I already went shopping and I was looking for a bunch of them. Couldn't really find them. So of course my next thing is online. Now what I've actually been using is this search engine / app called Perplexity, which actually has saved me so much time when it comes to shopping. And they are the sponsor of today's video. So I'm excited about that because this is something that I actually use. So what Perplexity is it's basically a search engine. So you go into the app or you can use it on a desktop, and it helps you search the entire web for the best possible product that you're looking for. Now, for instance, when you go onto Google and let's say you're looking for a French press that's cream that matches your Smeg kettle, what you're gonna find is a lot of sponsored posts. You're going to find maybe like just the most expensive things. But also you're just getting a bunch of websites that you have to sift through and basically see which one is the best, which takes a lot of time and it overwhelms, personally, it overwhelms me. But with Perplexity, it takes out all of that work. For instance, I typed in, I need to find a French press that matches my cream Smeg kettle. And then Perplexity searches the web for me and gives me a curated list of all of the French presses. I don't have to spend a bunch of time sifting through the internet trying to find them. And now they have a feature where you can actually buy through the app, which is even more convenient. I also like them too because they'll give you like related questions that you can ask and follow up and kind of curate your search a little bit more, because sometimes you don't know what you're even asking or what you should ask. So things like, what other colors are available in the cream ceramic French press? Are there any other brands offering French presses in a cream color? Now, you could be shopping for someone in the holidays, right? And you don't know what to get them. So you could write into Perplexity, I need to buy my father a gift that has something to do with like fishing or hunting. What should I get him? Or what is the best product to get my father for Christmas for 2024? Like, you can just ask really anything and it's gonna give you all the best results. So with Black Friday and the holiday season amongst us, but honestly, even if you're just a natural shopper, I would definitely recommend using Perplexity. Now you can scan the QR code that will be on the screen here, or you can download the app, or you can use the desktop version through my link in my description. This is definitely something that I'm gonna be using around this season and also whenever I need it, because I am very particular and I want to save time when it comes to shopping. So with that said, actually one of the things that I'm going to do when it comes to work is I kind of want to make a little bit of a list of things that I would like to get for Black Friday shopping, just because I want to make sure that if I'm going to get them, it's going to be on sale. So we're going to do all of that. and then we're gonna get ready to go to the market. Hello, it is a little bit later. I haven't left yet, but I ended up taking a little bit of a nap because I got so much work done and I needed it. Naps have been huge for me when it comes to healing and resting my body and things like that. So I am an advocate for naps, okay? If you need to rest, let your body rest. If you need to sleep in a little bit more, let your body sleep in. Obviously, we can only do so much, but I think like if we can do it, then let's do it for our bodies. But I want to quickly just mention, again, I talk about this a lot when I'm talking about regulating your nervous system, healing, just even reducing anxiety or worry in your life. Guided meditations, okay? I use guided meditations if I want to just reset myself throughout the day, but I use them a lot also to go to sleep. And I also use like guided meditations that are for specifically sleep that include affirmations within them. And so the YouTube channel that I always use mine from is the Mindful Movement. I'll leave like one of them that I've been listening to recently. I got into these when I was healing myself when I had nerve pain in my hands and my nervous system was just so dysregulated and I was like just going through another like healing period of my life. They really helped calm me down. But I also just think like when you do any sort of like guided meditations or things where they're like saying affirmations within the sleep track, essentially when you're sleeping, it really helps you, one, when you're going to sleep, because your subconscious mind is a little bit more open for suggestions. So when you are hearing good positive things about your health or how life will be and self-concept, things like that, when you feed your mind those affirmations when you're going to sleep and when you're sleeping, you will find a difference. Okay, you will. But it also just creates safety within your body and within your mind, which will also help you heal. Because I think that when you are going through any sort of health issues, even if you're just going through worry in your life, stressful situations in your life, you need to have a voice of reason in your head in a way. And you don't usually have that because you're worried, right? You're worried about your health. You're wondering when you're gonna get better. You're wondering when your circumstances are gonna get better. Maybe you just don't have the best thoughts. Like sometimes I have periods of my life where maybe I'm going through a breakup, or maybe I'm triggered in a relationship, or I don't know, maybe I don't know what I wanna do with my life or something like that. You tend to not have like the best thoughts. So affirmations can just be a really helpful support system when you're going through these times, because sometimes you don't even realize just how much of the buildup of the negative, how much of the buildup of the stress and the worry that you're having that just ends up kind of pushing you over the edge in a way. So anyways, I'll link one of them that I've been using recently. And it's really been helping me this past week. Like I feel like this past week, my health has been, healing is not linear. So I feel like I kind of went down a little bit with my health symptoms. And as much as I have a pretty solid belief system and outlook on life and optimistic, and I've dealt with this specific health issue before, I have IBD, so this is not new to me. I can get into those spirals sometimes, the same way I could get into a spiral of like anxious attachment. Like I naturally have an anxious attachment. Actually, I have a disorganized attachment style. So sometimes I'll be avoidant, sometimes I'll be anxious. But in my dating life, not right now, but there has been times where I've been good and I also can hold my own and I just am very rational and I'm very logical. But then sometimes for whatever reason, like something will trigger me. Maybe that has to do with like maybe the start of a dating phase. Typically that's where I might see myself be a little bit anxious, even as I've worked on my anxious attachment. And then of course I go into that like spiral for a second. So I like to lean on these things during those times. And I think it really helps, especially if you don't have money to like go to therapy, or honestly, even if you do have money to go to therapy, you need to find things in your emotional toolkit that can support you when you're not like seeing your therapist, or if you can't call your friend, So the ones that I've been doing are like healing your body meditations, and Sarah Raymond that has created these meditations, she just says everything you need to hear when it comes to healing. So that's what I did, and I just always get the best sleep, because of course you're going to be able to fall asleep really beautifully when you have a good mindset. When you're going to sleep and you're stressed about things, like no wonder you're tossing and turning all night. And I have not been an easy sleeper throughout my life. I've always been a light sleeper. I've always been in a lot of environments that were quite stressful too. So it made sense why I wouldn't be able to just fall asleep when there's like actual threats outside of my room. So I've had to find ways to be able to figure out how to sleep. And even as I created my own life for myself and I've, moved away from toxic environments and things like that, I still carried the trauma and the worry from my past life. Essentially, when I mean past life, I just mean past in my current life. And it had been difficult, so I've always found guided meditations have been helpful. I also sleep with white noise as well. Like those two things have been huge for me. And I think you just really need to explore what's going to help you when it comes to sleep, because sleep is so important when it comes to healing and recovery and everything. And if you're just not getting the right sleep, then, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just crazy. So those are the things that have helped me. Anyways, now I'm going to get up, essentially. I'm still like kind of tired, but whatever, it's fine. I also just got a notification that I got a package, which is nice, so we can pick that up when we come back. I don't really feel like wearing anything that like Christmassy and cute. It is 9 degrees out right now, so, and the sun is like not really out, so I feel like it doesn't matter. This is my look anyways. I can just wear this like oversized Iowa State hoodie with my Aritzia track pants. It's a little savage to be going out to the distillery in track pants. No, it's not. It's not, because I'm gonna look good. Like my face is done, and it's really comfortable. The only reason why I'm kind of thinking that is because realistically, I am not that well, and my body needs to be comfortable, but I'm also like, I think I might be comfortable in leggings as well. Let's get up and see. Okay, we have decided to look a little bit more presentable. I mean, it's the same concept, but different. So we have all brown. I love wearing these two together. This is not a set that came together, but these are my Buff Bunny leggings that I've had for a very long time. I'm pretty sure they're still probably available, and they're on my Like to Know It. And the chocolate brown, just so cute. And then this sweater is from Abercrombie. I love their sweaters. They're so good. And so we love to wear them together. And it goes with my jacket. This jacket is from Aritzia. We're doing the browns. And then my scarf, because honestly, a scarf is like a emotional support water bottle, the same way my Ultra Human Ring is, where I track my sleep and my steps and stuff. These things just really complete me. So let's go to the Christmas market. Hello, we are back. It is not even 5 o'clock. Well, essentially it's almost 5 o'clock and it's pretty dark out. I mean, you can't really see because, does anyone remember when I used to have a view of the CN Tower? The CN Tower used to be right over here, but now they've built this huge building, which honestly I'm not mad about anymore. I used to really be upset about it, but I mean, we had about a solid year in this condo with no building here. I knew that they were gonna be building a building when I moved in. So we had a nice, beautiful view of the CN Tower, but it's fine because honestly, I have this entire side of my condo that has beautiful views, so we are not going to complain. And what I actually realized is you can't see it right now because these balconies are like open. You can literally see right through the condos, but they've already started putting the windows on, so like up to here you can basically see, and the windows seem to reflect the water that's like over on this side. So in the morning or like when the sun is rising, it actually looks really nice. And there's not going to be any balconies that are like right here, at least I don't believe so from what I'm seeing them build. So it's not actually going to be like as bad as I thought. I recorded a how to adopt a positive winter mindset episode for the podcast, which will be live once this video goes out, so I'll leave it down below. And I was talking about obviously how to have a better mindset going into the winter months, and like how to not like always complain and, you know, just like dread the winter and this, that. So like when it gets dark early, things like that, my mindset is no longer, oh my God, it sucks. Oh my God, where's the sun? Oh my God, depressing. I'm over, you know, having such a negative bias to things. And I feel like I've done that for so many years, and I just want to embrace winter and slow it down and take in all that is winter, because it's gonna be here for a while. Anyways, we walked around the distillery district. Now, would it be really aesthetically pleasing and nicer if we went at night? Yes, because all the vendors would be open and you would see like all the lights beam at nighttime. But like I already told you guys, it's like when you're a local and you've gone for so many years, it's not really that worth it. And you have to buy tickets once you get to a certain like time, and it gets really busy. So, I mean, it's amazing if you go like your first time or your second time, but other than that, it's kind of like a trade-off. And for me and my friend, at least, like we're very chill people, don't really like a lot of chaos, things like that. So it was nice going when we did. I got a few clips. It was still beautiful. The Dior tree was beautiful. The market in general is so cute. There's so many cute little stores in there. And honestly, it was really busy. And we had gone around like 2:30, so I could only imagine how busy it's going to be because this is the first Friday that it's been open. So anyways, we walked around and I ended up getting some bath salts. This is a candle store and it's beautiful, but I really do not need any more candles right now. But they had these Dead Sea Salt bath salts and they smell really good, and it's Christmas themed. Like, hello. I think this is so cute. And yeah, it has Dead Sea Salt, sodium bicarbonate, obviously a little bit of fragrance. I could eat it. It smells so good. So I'm probably gonna have a bath tonight and use these because I love a good bath with some salt, Epsom salt, Dead Sea Salt, whatever it is, just to give it some life, you know? So I ended up getting that, and then we went to The Ordinary. Well, we went to a bunch of places, but I went to The Ordinary. I ended up getting the two products that I said that I was going to get. So I got salicylic acid. So there was two of them, and I asked the lady which one would, like, what's the difference first? And she said this one, which I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that name right now with the A. She said this one is a little bit better for sensitive skin. So if you're used to using salicylic acid, 2% is not like the highest. It's not like a retinol that's gonna break out your skin like crazy or anything like that. But I mean, obviously depending on the product that you're using on your face, sometimes your skin can be sensitive, and this technically is like a chemical for your face. So she was saying if you're used to using salicylic acid, you could just get like the regular 2%, but she said this one's better for sensitive skin. So I just got this one because I haven't used it in a very long time. And then I got the salicylic mask, the 2% clay mask, which I have tried in the past and it's really good. So these are the two that I'll probably be using in terms of any sort of active ingredients for the winter time. I ended up stopping also at Farm Boy because I wanted to get a few things. So I got some organic sourdough because I've just been having that a lot with soup, which is what I'm gonna make tonight actually. And I got some maple syrup because I wanna make homemade brownies this weekend. I'm not gonna make them tonight, but probably tomorrow because I actually need another ingredient, but it calls for maple syrup. And I think maple syrup is great to have on hand because I feel like I can just make protein pancakes and stuff, and I don't have that. So I got some of that, and I also got some gluten-free baking flour because I've been baking recently and I was like, I might as well get gluten-free. Like, especially with my flare up right now, it's not that it makes that much of a difference to me personally, but I mean, if we can avoid a little bit of gluten, sure. Although like I have sourdough and that's totally fine with me. But I figured I needed some flour anyways. Also, like I said, got a package in the mail, and it is Essie and Urban Decay, I think. Find your sparkle with moon dust. Let's see what it is. And this is what is in the package. I just am so excited for this. I already said this. I wanted to do my toenails. Listen, sometimes the universe works in magical ways. And then they have the shimmer eyeshadow. Oh my gosh, they actually look really beautiful. I almost don't want to open it up. Oh my gosh, I don't know how well you can see this, but these are to die for, these colors. Listen, I don't really use a lot of eyeshadow, but I would use this. This would look so nice, like the pink. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, wow. And then what else did they send? Glide on eye pencil. This is in a shimmer color. I don't know if I'll really use that, so maybe I'll have to add this into a giveaway because I am doing giveaways this year. I'm gonna do one on YouTube, podcast, and Instagram. This is an eyeshadow primer, which I used to get this all the time when I was younger, and I would always watch the makeup YouTubers. Oh my gosh. And I might have one already, so I might give this away. And of course, they sent me an all-nighter, which I might also give this one away because I have one. But it's amazing. So thanks, Urban Decay. We love a good holiday gift set, essentially. But I'm so excited to use these, like 100%. And you know what's crazy? This is one of my favorite colors from Essie, is this like baby pink one. There's a few different shades that they have. What one is this one called? This one's called Gossamer, but I usually get the Sugar Daddy one, but it looks very similar. Anyways, I'm gonna put this stuff away and then I will make my soup. Alrighty, so I'm about to put this in the oven. So what I'm doing for the butternut squash soup is, of course, roasting all my vegetables. This is like the easiest soup recipe, I swear, because you don't have to do a lot of chopping, a lot of anything, because you're roasting everything and then you're going to like blend up the soup once everything is cooked. So I just get a pan, I get one butternut squash, and usually I add full cloves of garlic in the like little scoops here, but I don't have any garlic, so I just put it for the seasoning. But usually it's garlic and then some onion, just chop up some onion, like half an onion or a little bit less. I have some rainbow carrots here, so like some yellow ones, there was orange, but I already ate them, and then some purple ones. So I have a few carrots in here, and then I chopped up 2 tomatoes. I don't follow any sort of recipe, although I started following the recipe when I like made this the first time, but it was just from this girl on TikTok who kind of like didn't give you the exact measurements because you don't really need it. It was just kind of like grab a squash and grab some tomatoes. So super easy, because once everything is cooked and you put it in your pot, you're gonna add some broth. So what I'm gonna be using is this chicken broth right now, and a little bit of cream or milk, or you can use coconut milk, but you don't really need to worry about like measurements when it comes to this kind of stuff, because you can kind of just like add as much liquid as you need in to make it as thick as you want. So it is so quick. And then I just put my oven on 400 Fahrenheit, and then I put this in for probably about 40-50 minutes just to let this all cook. Like usually it's about 40 minutes, and until this is obviously like you could scoop it out, and that's literally it. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Also, I've been in my Molly May vlog era. I love Molly May, and she's just been such a comfort. Like, you know, those like comfort vloggers that just make you feel like everything is good. Like, I love her because she's such a homebody, even though she's so successful and she's done so much with her career. Her vlogs are very much so just her doing the day-to-day thing. So I've been watching her the past few days. I haven't been watching her in a while, so love her. And I'm gonna wait for this to cook. Okay, soup is done. So after I roasted everything, I just scooped everything, put it in this pot. And like I said, I added some of the broth. And then I used my immersion blender. It looks like this. I just put it on the top of that little blender thing. And then I blend it up until it is a puree. And then what I also did is, like, this is what I've been doing with this soup, is adding some chicken in it because it tastes really good with this. And I want my soup to have some sort of protein. So lately I've just been buying those whole chickens that are already cooked, like the rotisserie chickens. And I'll just shred it off of the bones and then add a few scoops of that into the soup, and it just makes for such a well-balanced soup. And then also, actually, before I put the chicken in, I added like a little bit of milk just to make it a little bit more creamy, but it wasn't much. So that's literally all I do, and this lasts me so long. And I can have it in the morning. It's pretty easy to digest, of course, at night for dinner. And then I usually like to have my soup alongside of sourdough. I just put some grass-fed butter on it. So I'm gonna eat this. This is the perfect Friday night meal. Please, 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 please make this soup. Okay, so as you saw, I was doing my skincare while I was making the soup. I only left that mask on for like less than 10 minutes. I don't usually leave that on very long, but before I put the mask on, I double cleanse. So I used an oil face cleanser, and then I went in with a regular cleanser, and I just opened up this new papaya and vitamin C cleanser by Youth to the People. It is nice, guys. It is really nice, and you don't need a lot. So if you were considering getting this, it is a yes in my books. And then I just went in with some Vichy hyaluronic acid. I've been loving this serum. Very hydrating for the skin. And then I just went in with my BioEssence probiotic gel moisturizer. That's the only two things that I'm putting on my face right now, because I was using an active ingredient. I don't like to overwhelm my face, and I can't use vitamin C when I'm using the salicylic acid. Also, this is my lip peptide from Nude Sticks that I've been using at night. I have one of these, not like from Nude Sticks, but I have like the Laneige ones. I have so many different ones in every single room of my place because I am a lip fanatic. Like, I always need something on my lips. Not even that they're really dry. I just love to have a little gloss. So I really like this, but it has like a cooling texture. So I don't like to use this when I go out for walks, especially now that it's cold out. So I always like to leave this for the nighttime. But guys, can we take in, this is literally the thing that I will be doing until spring 2025. If I'm being real with you, I am obsessed with taking a bath. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm gonna turn off my light, of course, and then this candle I'm gonna put like in the corner, but I just put it there honestly so I can take a photo of it. But this is all a girl needs on a Friday night, if I'm being honest. So we have the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, new episode. I love to try my best to leave my reality TV shows to the end of the week, just so that I can have something to watch on the weekend that's not like, I don't know, the same thing that I'm watching during the week if I am watching anything. And that night is tonight. I have some lavender and chamomile tea right here, which is kind of like a nighttime tea. So I'm just gonna drink that, which is very soothing for my stomach as well. And then, of course, we have the bath salts. I put them in. They didn't change the water too much, just like a little green, but I mean, my water is blue, so it's perfect. I love it. It smells so good, and this is gonna last me quite a while too, so I love this. Now, this is not the best angle, but whatever. Before I have my baths usually, unless I'm having it during the day, like in the middle of the day because my stomach's hurting and I need to have one, or like I have cramps or something if I'm on my period, I like to shut down my place. So that's what I did. After I ate my soup, I just sat and like digested my food and just relaxed for a second. But I did my dishes, just a quick tidy. I didn't do anything crazy. And I filled up my humidifier. I cooled down my room. I made sure all my blankets were in my room. Like, I make sure everything is set up, because as soon as I get out of this bath, the only thing that I want to do is get into bed. So I like to think ahead a lot when it comes to these self-care practices, because I feel like it's just better when you do take a bath, and then when you get out, if you can, you're going right into bed and everything is all set up. You got your water, your skincare is done. I have to brush my teeth though, because I'm be drinking tea and I haven't done that yet, but I'll do that right when I get out. And then I'll probably, I mean, it's crazy, 8:18 on a Friday night, and like I'm down to just go to sleep after this, but I might just watch another episode because I have 2 of them. We'll see. And then I'll do my guided meditation to go to sleep, and that's that. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning everyone, and happy Sunday. I just got out of the shower because we're gonna do a self-care Saturday thing. Well, I've already started it, but I'll let you know what I am doing with my hair right now. But I woke up at like 6-ish a.m., which, I mean, me in the summer was not waking up at 6 a.m. on the weekends. But you know what? When you work on your habits, when you work on cutting out things that do not serve you, when you prioritize your health and your wellness, you will start naturally waking up early. Hopefully, maybe. It's taken me a while to get there, but God, does it feel so good to wake up so early, even on the weekends, because I just feel like I have so much time to do literally whatever I want. But this morning when I woke up, the moon was full, because I'm pretty sure the full moon was last night or the day before, or last night, whatever. It was just there. You know when the moon is just low and it's just bright and it's there in the morning? Like, oh my gosh, it just does something to you. So I just sat there and just looked at the moon for a little bit this morning. And then I had my breakfast, because I always eat before basically anything now, which is really great, because I'm pretty sure you guys have already heard me say this 100 times. I, you know, have gone through phases of not eating breakfast in the morning and just going straight to coffee, or just not having an appetite in the morning. And so I've built up an appetite and I just want to eat. I would rather just eat in the morning. So right now I'm actually having oatmeal, which I haven't had oatmeal in such a long time. I mean, I go back and forth with, you know, how good oatmeal can be for one person or for one's body. But with what I am going through in terms of digestion, again, I'm just choosing foods that I know that will like work with my digestion right now as I'm going through a flare-up. So oatmeal has been sitting well with me. So I did some rolled oats, and then I added in some vegan protein powder from Genuine Health, because I basically was running out of my whey protein, my grass-fed whey protein. I love grass-fed whey protein, but I figured as I'm going through a flare, I might as well, if I can, like when I pick up ingredients, just try and get maybe a little bit less, you know, the dairy, the gluten, this, that. Although I don't really react to gluten or dairy or anything like that. But when you look at like diets and stuff for IBD or IBS, like sometimes people will say like certain foods can cause more inflammation than others. It's that. I try not to obsess about it because I've already went through that phase of my life, and it got me in worse conditions than if I just ate the way that for the most part was like decent. So anyways, I picked that up because I know that I like that protein. So if you're ever looking for a vegan protein or like a plant-based protein with no dairy, Genuine Health, the vanilla one, so good. The fermented one, So I put that in my oatmeal just a little bit just to add some protein. I wanted to put in like a healthy fat, but I don't really like adding peanut butter or like nut butters into my oatmeal. Maybe I should get an almond butter though, because I think I like almond butter more than I do peanut butter in my oatmeal. I don't know, it just changes the way that that tastes. And then I put a little bit of raw honey in it and frozen blueberries that ended up just being like warm by the time I put the hot water in, or like I added a little bit more hot water over top of it. So that was my breakfast, and I had a probiotic as well. And then I went outside because the sun, well, regardless, I would go outside anyways, but the sun was out, and it is just so good. If you can, get outside in the morning, get those sun rays on your face. It will help you with your circadian rhythm. It will help you feel like you want to go to sleep at night when you get sunlight in the morning. So anyways, now we are here. It is still so early. I think it's like 8:30ish, 9 o'clock. So I just went into the shower because when I did my hair yesterday, when I do like my bun up top, I usually use some gel that is like the best gel to use for a slick back, especially if you have curly natural hair. I got to be gel, but it is like glue essentially, so I don't really like keeping that in my hair for too long. I didn't wash it out last night really. I went into the shower, got my hair wet. I actually go in with a regular conditioner. Right now I'm just using this Maui Moisture Hibiscus Water conditioner, and I like to detangle my hair. So like I section it, I'll do 3 parts each side, and I detangle all of my hair before I even do anything, because I just feel like if I go in, especially if my hair has been up, with a exfoliant when it comes to my scalp or anything, my hair is just a mess and then it can break, and I don't want that. So I make sure that my hair is actually detangled first, and then I go in with a regular shampoo. I've been using Love Your Curls for so long. I love their products, and you don't need a lot, and they're really good for curly hair. So I would suggest these products. I will link them all down below. All the products that I can link will always be on my LTK down below. And then I also added in this exfoliation scrub by them as well. This is like a cream-based scrub, and I just really put it on my roots everywhere, of course, just really like get it in there. It also leaves like a little cooling mint effect to your hair, so you feel like your scalp is so clean. It's amazing. And then I went in with the Carol's Daughter Goddess Strength Cocoon Mask. This is a deep conditioner mask, and I just doused my hair in it and flipped it over, made sure everything was on it, and that's what's in my hair right now. Sometimes I will just detangle my hair with a deep conditioner and rinse it out, and then put a oil in my hair and do a hot cap with oil, but I don't have any oil right now, and I haven't done a deep conditioner in a while, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. And then as I'm doing my nails and stuff, I'm going to sit underneath this hot cap. So this is just from Amazon. I'll have it linked down below as well. This, I seriously, like, I recommend it to anyone who's on a natural hair journey, who wants to revive your hair. Even if you're not on a natural hair journey, like, you could use this if you just have like straight pin hair. But having your hair under heat, for the most part, I guess everyone's hair is a little bit different also, so you have to like maybe do your research. But for the most part, usually, especially my type of hair, does really well when you have some oil or like a deep conditioner in your hair, and then you go under that cap and you let it just penetrate your hair. And I usually sit under there for 40 minutes, and then I usually just do something as I'm doing that. And then I will wash it out, and I'll put my regular product in, and then I'm gonna keep my hair like up in a poof with like my curls out, and I will have that last me a few days until I have to do my hair again. So that's basically what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do my nails, like I said, and as I'm sitting there, I'm gonna listen to my podcast episode because it goes live tomorrow, and it's already edited, but I like to listen to it once over again just to make sure that everything flows. And I usually do timestamps and kind of like, you know, section out what I'm talking about in the episode, but sometimes it's difficult to do that when I'm actually sitting there editing and doing the cuts. So I like to focus on one thing at a time. So usually the first cut, unless I have enough capability to just do two things at once, because sometimes I can do that, but then there's other times where my brain is kind of scattered, so I'll just sit there and I'll go through the entire raw footage and I'll just do the cuts and I won't worry about what I'm talking about or like the timestamp, and then I go back, since I always go back anyways, and then I'll listen to it through, and then I will look at, okay, at 18:20 I start talking about this, and then I do the timestamps, and then I do like the thumbnail and everything like that. So today for me feels like a little bit more of a productive day than I had yesterday, but again, I'm also not trying to rush myself or do anything too big because I need my body to just relax, but it feels good. And I think that like when we're talking about healing, nervous system regulation, just giving yourself like love and grace through whatever period you're going through, it's really like a day-to-day thing. Like it's more about giving yourself choice when you wake up. How do I feel? What does my body need? What does my body want? How do I want to move through today? Do I need to go a little bit slower? Do I want to go a little bit faster? And you know, there's so many small pockets of your day, regardless of how your day looks, that you can give yourself a little bit more choice. And I feel like when we're talking about healing and like I think like nervous system regulation and this, that, like people always think like, oh, okay, I need to wake up, I need to do meditation, and I need to not be on my phone, and I need to eat like the perfect meal, and I need to do all these perfect steps. But that's not necessarily like how healing really works. And I think about this really tiny example that a lot of people might not think about, but I was thinking about it the past like few days. Honoring your nervous system could be you scrolling on Pinterest versus you scrolling on TikTok. Like that could be your choice in that day of you choosing to honor your nervous system a little bit more and like support your body a little bit better. It could be as simple as that. Or it could be as simple as, when I go on a walk today, I'm gonna take off my headphones and I'm going to stand there and like take in the sun for like 5 minutes and not listen to any music. And maybe not the whole entire walk am I going to not listen to anything, but for like 5 minutes, I'm just gonna feel into the quiet and peace because that feels really good to me. And then you continue on with your day. It's literally those small things built over time that allow your body to get those signals that it needs to continue to rest, continue to rest, continue to rest, because you go through life with so many triggers, right? People, places, and things always putting you on fight or flight. And then on top of that, you usually have come through life, or you've lived life in this lens of everything is a threat. So it's like you need to constantly be putting out the fire in a way. And I feel like sometimes we think putting out the fire is those big things, right? Those huge routines, those things that sometimes can't even be accomplished because life is so hectic. But it's really those small things. And I think about when I used to bartend and serve, and I was getting more into nervous system regulation and going on a healing journey. And, you know, those places are so stressful. And it's hard to regulate yourself. It's hard to calm yourself down. It's hard to even know when you're like in an activated state. And even if you enjoy, you know, making money and working hard and working fast, like I loved that fast pace in a way. Like I'm very like operational, like very like, I don't know. I just really thrived in those environments at the same time as it could be stressful. And there'd be times where I would just have the goal for myself when I would go into work at least one time throughout the night. Can I remind myself like, hey, also I have a nervous system that's probably in fight or flight right now because I am dealing with so much stress. Can I go into the back and can I put my hand on my heart and like my hand on my stomach or whatever and simply just take 3 breaths. Just take it in and just breathe for like 3 seconds. And I did that so much, and those things, although you feel like it probably won't do anything, does so much. Because again, you're reminding your nervous system every day, hey, we're okay. There's so much chaos, but hey, we're okay. And again, we've lived life being like, we're not okay, 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 we're not okay. And then we have this internal dialogue that reaffirms it. You're not okay, you're not okay, you're not okay. I need to stress about things. How do I fix things? How do I get things to be perfect? I'm not doing good enough. All of those thoughts are signaling to your nervous system to stay in fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, not only do you not feel good, but your body is being trained to fight itself. On a physiological level, your body is not using its resources the way that it needs to when it comes to digestion, when it comes to making sure your body is in homeostasis, because your body is more worried about threats, about staying alert and alive, about, okay, we need cortisol, we need adrenaline, we need to be awake, we don't need to bring nourishment and blood flow and nutrients and energy to our digestive systems to function well, because right now we are worried about threats. And so can you see how the mind, the body, they connect when it comes to autoimmune disease, chronic illness, all of those things. So that's why I'm like very passionate about these things and I talk about them a lot, because taking care of your mental health and your nervous system and things like that, like they directly correlate to your physical body and how it's reacting and things. So if you are going through chronic illness, if you have any sort of autoimmune disease, which I mean, they're kind of like tied, any sort of anything, health issue, you know, things keep coming up for no reason. You're not getting any answers. You're not really getting the full like healing benefits of what you think you should be getting when it comes to like going to doctors, things like that. There's a component there that is your nervous system, that is your mental health. And I think when you're on a journey of healing, you want to always consider that. Anyways, we're on a rant again. Let's go do my podcast. Hello, it is a little later, so I obviously have finished my hair. And can we just take in some of these defined curls? Well, not some, they're all very defined and beautifully nourished. My hair looks a little bit insane because I try not to like touch too much of it, but basically what I did was I washed out my deep conditioner, I flipped my hair over the tub and just like rinsed it all out, and then I usually rake 2 products in my hair. Right now I'm using the Redken Hydrating Curl Cream. I don't mind it. I haven't used that much of it though, so I don't know, to be determined I guess, but I use that, and then I go in with my mousse, and I always use the Camille Rose mousse, and I basically just kind of like scrunch it into my hair. Now once my hair, it has all the product in it, I just wrap it around like a little pony just once, and then I put my head towel back on just like this and like wrap it around for probably like 20 minutes, just so my hair's not dripping wet, because it's still going to be a little bit wet. And then as it's still wet, what I do, and this is like, I don't know, I mean, I kind of see why this works, but I actually take my bonnet and I just put it over top of my hair, just like this, okay? And I sit in my apartment like this for as long as I really can, like maybe like 30 minutes or whatever, because I feel like if you leave the towel on too long, it will either dry it out, depending on which one I'm wearing. It will either dry it out, or I don't want to like wear the head towel with like damp likeness in the head towel. But with this, it still kind of traps the heat a little bit, so I feel like it sets my curls, which kind of would make sense because I have a hooded dryer, and a hooded dryer basically does the same type of thing for my curls, like when I actually do my hair down. So I've just been doing that for so long and it works. And then once I feel like it's basically dry, I mean my hair is definitely not dry, it takes a while, I will just put it up in like some sort of scrunchie and kind of just leave it. I try not to touch it too much, and then I just wear this hairstyle for a few days because my hair is very nourished and I don't really touch it unless I want to kind of like pull it back up a little bit. Then I'll just like add a little bit of water onto it, but nothing too crazy. I don't do my edges. I don't do any of that. Like usually when I keep my hair curly, like out like this, I don't tend to do my edges because honestly, like my hair usually just like covers them and I just don't really care too much about that anymore. And realistically, like to slick up your edges and to always put gel in your hair is just not good. So I don't put any gel in my hair unless I'm wanting to do like the bun that I did yesterday, and then that's when I'll do that, but I'll try and take it out of my hair. So that's just basically what I do for my hair. Now I ended up doing a little bit of a Sunday reset, just cleaned up my space a little bit because I was doing my dishes and I thought I might as well. I didn't have to do too much of a clean. I do feel like I need to do like a December reset, like deep clean, but I'm not interested in doing that right now. And I was listening to some music on my TV, and shout out to Nipsey Hussle, shout out to this song in particular. This just, if you know, you know, this song is the best song ever. And actually, let's have a little music interlude. Firstly, I had lunch and I am so connected to how I feel, probably because Yes, we're in the healing era. Yes, I've gone through these phases a lot of times. I've learned a lot about connecting with your body and listening to your body and slowing down, nervous system, yada yada. But I also spend a lot of time alone too, so I feel like I'm always with my thoughts. I'm always just very like interconnected with myself. And I can feel the shift in my stress levels when I'm listening even to like the most calming vlogger while I'm eating versus sitting in silence or listening to like jazz music that has no lyrics. So when I was eating lunch, I was like, you know what? Let me turn off the vlog, because I was watching Molly May's vlog, which was like very like therapeutic and like relaxing. And I just put on some jazz music, and just the switch in my calmness of my body and my mind as I was eating, it just felt so right. So I would suggest, if you can try to listen to some jazz music, I'll literally link the jazz music that I listen to. I play this in the morning, by the way, and it gives me such a calming morning to listen to jazz music. And mind you, the ones I listen to on YouTube are so aesthetic, and they have like Christmas themed things and things like that. Then after I ate, I was like, let me just stay in this calm vibe and do a little bit of cleaning. It's like a natural progression of like me wanting to do something good for my space and myself versus like feeling like, oh, there's another to-do thing that I have to do. Now I have to clean, and then I have to do this and da da da. And so I feel like that was like a smooth transition. And also I just connected with food and my digestion so much better when I'm like not all jumbled in the mind. But I started listening to some music because I was like, honestly, I feel like I haven't been listening to a lot of music recently, mainly because I haven't been going to the gym a lot, because I feel like gym is when I listen to a lot of music, and sometimes on my walks, but it just depends. But I was listening to my old music playlist called Rap Feels. If you want any of my Spotify playlists, they will be linked down below on Spotify. You can just type in my name, Alicia Gogan, and they will come up. I have been slacking. I've been saying this on my Instagram that I'm going to create new playlists for November and the winter season. Have I done it yet? No. Have I saved a lot of songs? Yes. So let's run through some of the songs I've recently been listening to, but from the Rap Feels playlist, because I haven't listened to that in a while. I was listening to Double Up by Nipsey Hussle. That song, I don't know. When you're cleaning your place and you're listening to that song and you light a candle, like it does something to your soul. I don't know what to tell you. Also, 1,000 Miles by Kid Laroi. I love Kid Laroi, and I love that he's dating our queen Tate. Like, are you kidding? I was listening to Search and Rescue. I was listening to Martin and Gina, All My Life with J. Cole, Way Life Goes. Just some of the like old bangers, you know? But recently one that I've been playing is called Skeleton Remix. This is like a Playboi Carti remix song, and listen, you either love Playboi Carti or you don't get the vibes. You don't get the language, you don't get the Carti language. I don't know what to tell you, but for me, it does something to me.
Got a brand new beach, that's a brand new friend. Got a brand new bag, huh? That's a brand new dance, huh? Got a brand new coupe, that's a brand new Benz, huh? Got a brand new watch, skeleton.
Love that song, although like, is it really a song? It's more like a beat. I don't know. I've also been liking No Pull by Don Toliver. I've been listening to a lot of Fred again, but we need to have a segment for Tate because she came out with her song Two Hands. Did I basically already know every lyric? Yes, because I listened to the snippets for damn near a month of her teasing it, but she did come out with a new song. And if you guys are new here, I'm obsessed with Tate. And not only did she come out with a new song, she dropped that she is dropping a new album in February called So Close to What. So I'm so excited. And she dropped that she's going on tour again, which I'm gonna be there, obviously. She's gonna be performing in Toronto in the summertime, so catch me there. And she's doing arena tours, which means she's gonna be at the Scotiabank Arena versus the Budweiser stage last year, which is so amazing because like only a year before that, I believe she was playing at History in Toronto or something smaller, like way smaller than the Budweiser stage. And then when she performed this summer, it was just insane crowd. Like she's just so much bigger now, and now she's gonna be doing Scotia Arena. Like we love her. So I've been listening to that song, obviously. And also when she was doing one of her shows in Japan or something, or Tokyo, I don't know, she had teased 3 new songs, well, 4 including Two Hands, but 3 new songs from her album. I'm assuming she'll probably drop them before the album comes, and they sound So good. I cannot wait. But I was saying on my Instagram last night, the girls who listen to Tate, we have damn near about 3 months to get over Think Later. Like, we need to break up with that album. We need to figure it out. We need to get out of our feelings, and we need to be prepared for this new era, because it's gonna be a new era. I am not fully ready to let go of this album. I literally love Think Later so much. I listen to basically every single one of those songs. Whether I like connect to those songs or not, it's just the era, the vibe. I love Tate in general. So will I ever be over that album? No, but we have a few months and then we need to really actually get it. We need to get it together. I've also been listening to Too Much by Justin Bieber from his Justice album, which I just feel like it's such a beautiful song. Like, why does it make me feel like I'm connected to God in that way? I've also been listening to Hours in Silence a lot again, because I feel like that's the era. Like, the wintertime is very Drake, Hours in Silence. Also, can somebody check on Jack Harlow, because where is the new music? I love Jack Harlow so much, truly. Like, my southern boy, I need him in my life, and I love his music, but where has he been? So hopefully he drops some new music soon, because I am really getting a little bit antsy here. So that's kind of the music that I've been listening to. Nothing too crazy. I listen to all types of music. I listen to country music, rap music, weird, toxic trait type of music, house music, pop music. I would say probably I'm like a Tate McRae girl when it comes to any form of pop. Like, I'm not a Swiftie, sorry. Not a Swiftie. I like Serena Carpenter. I do like some of her songs, but she's not fully me. But Tate, she's a bit of me. She's a bit of me. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go do another walk, because I'm like halfway to my steps of the day and I feel like I should just get outside and do a little bit of a walk. I did finish my podcast episode, so that will be live, so you can go watch that, all about having a new winter or positive winter mindset. But I'm gonna go and get a few ingredients, because I want to make sweet potato brownies tonight. So we're gonna try. I'm a little afraid, because I feel like I'm gonna try and make them like I'm making like a healthy-ish version of something, and it's always like a little bit nerve-wracking, because it's like, is that gonna even taste good? Because I don't want to be making things that don't taste good. But we're gonna try it. So I will update you when we are back. We are back from our walk, and I didn't get any clips because I'm not really in the mood to do the like B-roll, to be honest, right now in this video. Although I know there's going to be some, because I'm going to probably B-roll me cooking. Sometimes you're gonna get a chatty vlog, sometimes you're gonna get a mix of both. But anyways, I went to the dollar store and got a brownie pan, because I did not have one of those. I love me a good dollar store shop, okay? For a lot of things I don't feel like wasting my money on, or at least putting all my money into, I like to go to the dollar store and get, because listen, we still have goals. We need to save money. We need to be aware of how much we're spending, things like that. I feel like what I spend a lot of my money on is my living environment. So basically rent, but just, it's always been like my top priority to have a good environment, a safe environment, depending on like also like where I'm living, things like that, and what I eat. Those are like the two main things that make me feel the best. I feel like some people, they like to spend a lot of their money on like travel or going out, dinners, experiences, things like that. Not to say that I don't like doing that, but that's never really been me. And I think when you are having to budget your money in some sense, I feel like most people do, regardless of how much money you have, there's gonna be like a priority list. So I always make sure that those things are my first and foremost. And then the other things like, you know, Christmas decorations or kitchen things, random things, I sometimes like to offset that and like think about, can I just get it cheaper? And a lot of times you just get it at the dollar store. And then over the years, I like to invest. Like this honestly is a fine pan. It was only $4. It's from Betty Crocker. Like it's a fine pan, but I mean, eventually, maybe in my 30s, I would like to have like a really nice glassware baking set that probably costs more than $4, but who cares? I also got some paper towel that's cheap there, and like I'm throwing that out. And then I went to Nature's Emporium, because that's like the health food store basically that I go to. I go to a bunch of different grocery stores. I'll go to the market, I'll go to Loblaws, I'll go to Farm Boy, depending on what I'm wanting to get. Nature's Emporium is just like the closest that I have to a natural food store, and it has honestly everything that I need. So I love those places. I could spend hours and thousands of dollars in those places. So I ended up getting some gluten-free organic quick oats because I was running out of my oats, and I feel like I'm probably gonna be in an oat era for a little bit. So I figured to pick that up. I got some cacao powder. This is going to be for the brownies. And if you're going to make these brownies, get cacao, not cocoa powder. There's a difference, and just look in the ingredients. Organic cacao powder. So this should be good. I mean, those things can run you up some money. So I mean, if you have to get the cheaper version, you get the cheaper version, and you don't stress about it, okay? You don't stress about things that you can't do, okay? If you can't get organic, if you can't get the most clean thing, don't stress about it. This is coming from experience. I also got this new kombucha, the blood orange kombucha. I love Synergy, and I like to have these on side of usually like a salty meal, just like add a little bit of orange juice in it and mix it up and have a little like pop, quote unquote pop. So I feel like I'll probably like that. I got 2 packs of blueberries. Now, are they in season? No, but they were organic, and there were 2 for $6, which is pretty good for organic. And I'm gonna run out of my frozen ones, so I might as well just have these on deck, and I will wash them and use them for my oatmeal. I also got some semi-sweet mega chunk chocolate chips because I wanted to get the chunk ones as well, because I think that that's what I want to use for the brownies. We'll see. And then I ended up getting a almond hazelnut butter. I feel like this will work in my oatmeal, but the peanut butter, I just don't really feel like that's the vibe. So anyways, we're gonna try and make this recipe. I'm gonna listen probably to some more music, 2 hands, because we need to get that on repeat. The sun is coming out. It is like 3:30. I feel like I've lived 12 days because that's what happens when you wake up so early in the morning. But I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. I am also, in general, not somebody that can sleep in. So even if I wake up at whatever time I do, once I'm up, I'm up. So I gotta get the day started. We cannot fall back asleep. It just doesn't work for me, unfortunately. Update, the sweet potato brownies are in fact insanely good. I am so surprised. Okay, so I ended up finding this recipe that is sweet potato brownies, but this girl had like this cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough type of thing that she made and added it on the brownies, and I felt like that would make it taste a little bit better. So I ended up following the recipe. It was really quick. I am going to link it down below. I just followed it exactly how she did it, but I did just swap out a few things. So she used avocado oil. I used a little bit of olive oil. It wasn't a lot, so I didn't feel like it was gonna change much. I ended up using peanut butter instead of almond butter because I didn't want to use my almond butter for this because I knew I would like peanut butter with chocolate. It's just like, I don't like peanut butter with things that aren't with chocolate. I only ended up needing one sweet potato. I just cooked it in the microwave just because it was quick to do that. I also folded in dark chocolate chunks in the sweet potato batter, and then I have like the small little chocolate chips in this little cookie dough thing, and I ended up adding a little bit of milk when I was like making it into a dough and just like pressing it in because I felt like it needed it because it was quite dry. Anyways, these are so good. They don't have a lot of sugar in it. Well, I mean, obviously I added a little bit of chocolate chips, but dark chocolate chips, not a big deal. I really love these. So I'm gonna have these for the week and maybe I'll freeze a few if I need, but what a perfect little snack that's easy to make and not super full of sugar, you know? Anyways, it's a little bit later, so I'm eating soup again, actually. I've already ate this for lunch, but this is the only thing that's meal prepped and I'm craving it anyways, and it's just so good. I was just thinking about this, like making your own soup at home, the amount of nutrients, the good nutrients that you're getting out of this, so good, just amazing. Also, I'm watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives right now. I personally like The Real Housewives and like different reality, like, I don't know. I've only been watching like second episode or third episode. So I'll have probably more thoughts later, but it's decent. And I mean, some of the girls here are quite crazy. So I'm just gonna watch this and eat. It's only like not even 6 p.m. and it is completely dark out, but I've had a chill day and I'm just gonna continue it on. And the crash out is happening right now. It's 9 p.m. and I'm about to just go to sleep at this point because there ain't nothing else I need to do. I ended up actually making some new playlists, so if you're interested, I will have them linked down below. I'm gonna add to a few, but I just wanted some new playlist vibes, so we have that. Tomorrow is my do nothing day, and I'm really trying to be more intentional with these do nothing days, although I'm always doing something in a way, and even on the days that I'm doing things like today, it wasn't really stressful. Like, it was very conducive and supportive of healing, particularly for me when it comes to my flare up and stuff. Like, I literally just did everything that was like the best I could do for myself. But I feel like I have to like turn it down a lot more notches as I'm going through a flare up too. So tomorrow I'm not focusing on doing any sort of cleaning, any sort of to-do list, self-care, really anything, mainly because I did most of it today. But sometimes, even though those things shouldn't necessarily be a stressful thing, and I do enjoy those things, sometimes I'll build it up in my mind and it will be like this to-do, go, go, go energy that I have when I wake up, which is something I love. But as I'm making sure that I'm really lowering my stress levels for my flare-up and stuff, I just can't do that to myself. So I kind of planned in my head, I'm like, you know what? Friday I did what I did. Today I knew that I would probably want to do something because I feel like, side note, tangent, like when you are dealing with chronic illness, or even if you're just going through something that's hard, it's hard to like socialize and do things, right? Because maybe you're limited and you can't, or you just don't want to. Like, there's times where you're going through something hard in your life emotionally, you just can't show up the way you want, right? You don't want to talk to people, you don't want to whatever. And for me, that's like kind of how I am. But also with my flare up right now, it's so hard for me to go and do much because I'm kind of just like tied down to the comfort of my home. Thank God I can be. When it comes to like having to go to the washroom a lot, if my stomach hurts, because like that's the main thing that happens when my flare up is a thing, is my stomach's hurting, I have to go to the washroom a lot, I can't really eat a lot. I eat the foods that I eat at home because I make them at home, but I eat small portions of it. Like, I have to be very mindful of all these things. And then just going out, like, you know, when I'm going out with my friends, it would be so nice to like get ready and look cute and like, let's go to a bar, or even if it's like a wellness thing. But it takes a lot of energy out of me, especially when I'm on medication and stuff and my body's just genuinely fighting inflammation, that I can't really do much. And so it gets like boring. And like, healing journeys are boring sometimes, I feel. And I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but when you are taking care of yourself and you're showing up and you're doing everything basically that you know you should be doing it to the best of your abilities, it's almost like you wake up every day in this energy still of waiting for the day you're gonna feel better or things are gonna change, because you've been showing up so well that sometimes it like can break you down as well. Like, I don't know if this is making sense, but like even during this week, I kind of had like a mini breakdown because I was just fed up with my health and just the process, you know. It's just, you know, like especially when you're in pain and when you're going through things, like it's just real and you're just going through it. And I was getting fed up in a way because it was like I couldn't do anything else. Like, I have been doing every single thing that I know that I should be doing, and it's not that I was thinking like, oh, it's not enough and nothing's changing, but it's just a mere fact that like you still need to wait sometimes when you're in a healing journey or when you're changing things. Like, even if you're going to the gym, right, and you're going to the gym, you're showing up and you're eating right and you're doing all these things, like it takes time for you to see results at the gym, but you're showing up every day, and so sometimes it can be, I don't know, just like overwhelming and just frustrating, I guess. And not like I felt frustrated this weekend, but I feel like when you have to spend a lot of time with yourself for whatever period of life you're in, it can be kind of like boring and frustrating and just like, can this be over in a way, because you do want to go live your life, but you can't really. And then also, I don't know, I'm somebody who deals with literally everything on her own because that's just how it's been in my life. I've learned over the years to open up to my friends and to lean on my friends and this, that. I have way deeper connections with specific friends in my life than I did in my early 20s. So that's good. Like, built really solid foundations of friendships and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, especially when you are very like self-sufficient and you know what you're doing and you're kind of just in the waiting game, right? There's not much like people can do for you. And I know sometimes it's not about what people can do for you. It's just about like, maybe you just need to vent to someone or somebody just needs to know that you're struggling and this, that. But like, I tend to not lean on that so much, going to people to talk about my problems when there's like nothing we can do to fix them type of thing. And on the flip side, I do know we don't need to be super positive about everything, and we can like let ourselves feel and cry and da da da. And it's not to say that I don't do that, but with that said, it can be also annoying in a way to have to explain your situation. Not like I have people in my life who are demanding me to explain things, but have to tell people what you're going through, because it's like this thing you have to unpack. And especially when you just don't necessarily need to unpack it, it can be annoying to have to like keep explaining to people, for instance, for me, why I can't show up in a certain capacity because of my current health status. And specifically for IBD, like a lot of people do not understand the day-to-day when you're going through a flare-up, like what that really entails. And like, to explain that to people, like, it's not that people will not understand, people do understand it, but it just gets very repetitive and like personal, and just things sometimes you don't want to unpack, but you have to do it in a way, because at least for me, I have consistent friends who are always asking me to do things and this, that, and like not all my friends know my health history from like years ago and all this kind of stuff. So anyways, it's just a journey. That's why they say healing journey. But one thing I was going to bring up that could be helpful for everyone, I think, is to have a conversation with yourself before you go to sleep. And this is like not journaling. Like, I am honestly saying like you can speak to yourself out loud, maybe shut the door. But I think sometimes when you're going through harder times than usual, you need more. You have to give yourself more. So I don't talk to myself all the time, but I talk out loud all the time, like with my videos and stuff. So maybe that helps, and I journal a lot. But when I'm going through a little bit harder times, I like make it a practice to sit before I go to sleep and like speak out loud, basically talking to myself and like telling myself whatever I need to hear. I kind of like to list out 3 to 5 things that are going well and that are moving forward in my life, because sometimes you can forget. And these are not mundane things of like, oh, list 3 things that you're grateful for that have nothing to do with what you're going through. But for me, it will be like specific to my health. So, you know, throughout the day, I'm basically always gauging where my health is at, especially when I'm going through a flare, because I'm actually feeling symptoms and stuff. So it can be really hard to not be always micromanaging, like, am I getting better or am I getting worse, da 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 da. But what I like to do is just like list out 3 things that are moving forward. Like, yeah, okay, maybe your health is not exactly where you want it to be, but you have done every single step possible when it comes to getting your medication in line, and you're on it right now, and your body's responding to it, and you've adjusted this thing in your routine, or you did these 3 things today that supported yourself the best that you can. Like, just listing out, just reminding yourself of all the things that you've done can be very helpful, because I just think that we're really good at pointing out everything we do that's not enough, right? All the things that we could have done differently, all the things that we could have done today that we didn't do that we knew we should have done. But I find when I have these conversations with myself at night, it really just calms me down. It reprograms a positive belief system so that I can wake up tomorrow and continue to kind of be on that more positive path instead of the negative path. And also just reminding yourself that whatever it is that you are going through in your life, it's not actually the entirety of your life. And I'm saying this also because I've gone through so many of these like phases before, and people like ask me like, how did you get through them? Or just in general, like, how do you have such good advice and this, that? And it's because I practice this with myself. I practice speaking to myself in a positive light. I practice like working on my mindset. And that's how you get resilient, because at the end of the day, it's like, no one's really gonna be able to talk you through the hardest parts of your life other than you. And I mean this also in the sense of, it's gonna be you who decides to go on YouTube and click a podcast episode or this vlog or like whatever vlog to help you change your mindset about something to get you through your day when you're triggered. Or it's gonna be you who decides to go to the guided meditation. It all leads back to you. And so we kind of have to just keep showing up and doing the best that we can, because ain't nobody really gonna do it for us. Anyways, this video was very chatty, I know that, but I mean, I have been getting a lot of feedback on my recent vlogs about how you guys are enjoying it. You're enjoying the healing diaries, the whatever, winter arc. I feel like everyone's in their vlog era right now in terms of watching vlogs, maybe even like making them, but probably watching them because we have a lot more downtime. So you can definitely look forward to more. I think next week I am going to take a break from vlogging, because honestly, based off of the past video I just posted and now this one, it was like a few days of healing and like days in my life, and then this weekend vlog, that there's gonna be nothing different that's gonna be happening in the next week and weekend coming up, that I will really feel the urge to want to vlog, and then I don't want to like overwhelm myself and feel like it's this to-do task thing. I just hate creating content from that space. And I think it would be good to have like more do nothing days next week. I don't have too much going on, which is good, so it'll allow myself to, you know, just take as much rest as I need to. I'm gonna record a podcast episode. I'll do some work. I'll work on this video. You guys probably won't even see that I've missed a week of vlogging. Maybe, I don't really know. Depends on what I end up vlogging the next week, but let's hope that not this week coming up that I'm recording on right now, this week coming up, but the week after that, I'll be a little bit better in terms of like health. That would be great. And then after that week, we go right into December, which is crazy. So I definitely, like I said, want to do a December reset. So maybe like that will be the next one. Who knows? Last time I said that I wanted to do a vlog, it was gonna be like me like slowly getting back into the gym, and then my health kind of was like, yeah, let's just relax on that one. So we're just gonna see. But regardless, you guys will get videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my second channel, which is the Glow Up Secrets podcast. Anytime you don't got a vlog, you can just check there. I've been posting every Sunday. I really like posting every Sunday. At least for the winter, it feels like right to do that, and it gives me enough time to get my episodes out. That will be linked down below. Also, you can follow me on Instagram because I post on Instagram every day. And I mean every day in terms of stories. I am always posting. Usually it's like hot girl walks, it's cooking, it is music, it is something cute in my apartment, a quote of the day, just some cute stories. I really like posting on stories because it's like low effort. It's very like minimal effort for me. I feel like as a content creator, there's so many things that you can do, and my main two things are my long form like YouTube and podcast. So I always prioritize those over everything, and that takes the longest usually. Well, actually not really, because like reels can take a really long time as well. But I only make reels if I have enough time and I'm inspired to do that. But it's a whole different mindset and like different mode you kind of need to be in as a creator when it comes to short form versus long form. Like, you don't typically see creators with a really big library of like reels when it comes to like daily vlogging or things like that, and simultaneously running a podcast and a YouTube channel. Like, obviously there are some people who do that, but like you will usually see a creator be bigger on one platform just because like that's just kind of where they thrive the most. But regardless, I have two long form, which is the podcast and my vlog. So I feel like if I didn't have my podcast and I just had like vlogs, I would probably do more reels. Or if I only had my podcast, I would do more reels in terms of like maybe like mini vlogs. But those also don't really work for me because all I do is yap. And I already knew that from the beginning. Like when I started on TikTok, I knew I was gonna go on to YouTube and podcast. Like I started growing my channels like not long after I started TikTok because I just knew that like I needed a longer form and like what I wanted to say needed to be like different than on a short form. And now I really don't post on there. It's just like random things that I feel like posting. And then sometimes I get inspired to like make some sort of reel and then I'll post on socials. But with that said, I do like the story aspect because I do stay very connected with you guys through DMs, and that mainly is because of stories. So I'm happy that I can still do that because I can connect with you guys through comments on here, but I feel like I have even like, I wouldn't say a deeper, but a more consistent connection with you guys on Instagram because I usually am posting every day and then you guys will like respond or you'll see things or this, that. So anyways, Alicia Gogan, you can follow me. It'll all be linked down below. You guys already know. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.